Hi friends, welcome to DTK Food and Travels. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. Today we're going to be making a pickle, a beef pickle. For this, one of our friends asked us to make it for them, so they bought all the ingredients and my husband made it for them. So it was 4 pounds of beef cut into little chunks, and to marinate he added 1.5 teaspoons of Kashmiri chili powder, 2 tablespoons salt, half a teaspoon turmeric. Mix it and marinate it for at least 4 hours. The first thing he did was go ahead and get a chunk of cayenne and heat it in the microwave. Cayenne is asafoetida. And then crush it and set it aside. Then you want to go ahead and put the beef into a pressure cooker after it's at least 4 hours and cook it on medium-low for at least 3 to 4 whistles. That's how long it will usually take for the beef to be cooked. So there's the beef cooking. Like I said, it's on medium heat, and we're just gonna wait for the whistles to blow 3-4 times, and then you can turn the stove off and wait for all the pressure to release, and then open it. And here it is after it's all the pressure is gone. See how much water there is in it? So you still have to now boil it uncovered until all the water have evaporated. That'll usually take at least another 10 minutes. So just make sure you keep stirring it in between to make sure nothing sticks to the bottom. There it is. All the water's gone now. So next you want to go ahead and heat up a skillet. Add about 2 cups of oil. They gave us the canola oil, so that's what we're adding to it. And then we're going to go ahead and fry the beef. So we're gonna fry the beef because we wanna get all the water content out of it. That's what will make this beef pickle shelf stable, part of the reason. So we had to fry it in 2 batches. And after you fry everything, remove it and then reserve some of that oil you fried the beef in. And you wanna add about 2 pounds of garlic to this and about half a pound of ginger. So if you don't want that much garlic, you can determine how much you want. This family wanted more garlic in their pickles, so that's why we put about 2 pounds in there. And you want to keep stirring it until it's fried really well. You do not want any water content left in the garlic nor the ginger, because that will make the pickle go bad sooner unless you keep it in the refrigerator. So you want to make it where it should be okay at room temperature. So we're just going to keep stirring it until it's completely fried. You might have to taste a piece of garlic halfway through to make sure that it's completely fried. And that took about 10-15 minutes on medium heat. After the garlic and ginger are fried, you want to go ahead and add some curry leaves to it and fry it until all the water content is out of the curry leaves and it's fried up really nice. There, it's getting fried pretty good. It actually smells pretty nice. We're doing it this outside and the whole backyard smells pretty good. So once everything is fried, you want to go ahead and remove about half of this mixture into a mixie jar. We're just using the small jar of our blender. I'll tell you in a minute why we're doing this. So you're going to go ahead and get half of it and set it aside. And at this point, you want to go ahead and turn the stove off. And then add half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, 3 tablespoons of Kashmiri chili powder, Remember, the stove is off at this point. You want to make sure the stove is completely off, otherwise all your spices are going to burn. So it's half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, 3 tablespoons of Kashmiri chili powder, and half a teaspoon of roasted fenugreek. Just all you need is half a teaspoon for the 4 pounds of the beef. We're just gonna go ahead and add that into there now. And 1 teaspoon of salt. So you can taste it and add accordingly. So it all depends on how much salt you want in your pickle. Pickles are supposed to be salty. So we're just gonna add 1 more teaspoon of salt, and you only have to add it if needed. Then you're gonna go ahead and mix it. Just adding the salt now that I was telling you about earlier. And then remember, the stove is still off at this point. You just want to go ahead and mix it. Just make sure everything is combined really well. So we're gonna go ahead and turn the stove back on low, and we'll start adding the vinegar. The vinegar they brought us is the apple cider vinegar, so that's what we're gonna use. We added half at first and decided that that wasn't gonna be enough for the 4 pounds of beef. So we added another half. So you need a total of 1 cup of vinegar for this recipe if you're making that much beef for the pickle. So just gonna go ahead and add the other half there. That should be enough for the 4 pounds. Then just give it a good mix. Make sure everything is well combined, and you just want to heat the vinegar and the mixture one more time. And then we're gonna start adding the beef in a few seconds. And then after you add the beef and you mix it and you turn the stove off, so make sure you once you add the beef, you do turn the stove off, because you don't want everything to burn. See, the heat is on low at this point. We're gonna go ahead and add the beef, and then we'll completely turn the stove off. And it took a while for all the coatings to get on the beef, so you just have to make sure you keep mixing it. That's the only thing. It will take a little while to make sure everything is completely coated. We're gonna go ahead and add the beef, and then turn the stove off and mix it. Almost done. We still have a few more steps. Remember the garlic and ginger mix that we took away and put it in a grinder jar? We'll have to add that to this. So what we did was we grinded it. Don't puree it, just crush it in a blender and then set it aside, because we're gonna add that to this in a few seconds here. There. The stove is off at this point, okay? And then you just want to keep mixing it until all the beef is well coated with the vinegar and all the spices. Few more mixings, and then it'll be time to add a couple more ingredients. It smells so good over here. If you could, there was such a thing as smell-o-vision. I could have sent the smell, but since there isn't, you just had to take my word for it. There, it's completely blended. So the ingredient, one of the last ingredient that you want to add is 2 teaspoons of cayenne or asafoetida. This is the picture I showed in the beginning, the black chunk. My husband microwaved it and waited for it to cool, and he crushed it. You can do it that way, or you can just use, you can get asafoetida powder. You can use that also. You would need 2 teaspoons of the asafoetida powder. And then you want to go ahead and mix that really well. Make sure everything is well combined. And this is the crushed ginger and garlic that we had set aside earlier. And the reason that we're doing this and adding this at the very end is just in case if there's a little too much oil for the gravy, this will make it thicker so you don't have any oil running. So everything is nice and dry, and it'll help the beef to stay fresher and shelf safe longer. So that's the reason. So before you add the spices to the ginger and garlic and curry leaf, make sure just take about half of it out and crush it and just set it aside and add it at the very end. So that way it'll absorb whatever juice is left in the skillet. We're almost done. The beef pickle is pretty much ready. You can put it in a jar and should be shelf safe for several months. And you can keep it in the fridge too, but there's no need to it because this has no water content. They're completely ready. Doesn't that look yummy? Beef pickle ready. Thanks for watching.